And then the other tool is, and what you were kind of talking about, that idea of affirmation. And affirmations come from one of two places, right? It comes from the outside when someone says, you did a great job and I really appreciate that. And anytime we get those, we should save them and really savor them. But the other thing is it can come from internally. And a practice that I use with clients, and I've used with myself on a number of occasions, is this idea of, I'll use the analogy of a junk drawer. So everybody has a junk drawer in their kitchen, which just has a bunch of crap in it, right? And at some point when we moved in, you had a plan for that drawer. You were like, okay, here's where the batteries, the flashlight, the scissors, and this go. And then eventually it collects everything else. But everything that ended up in there ended up with a purpose when it was put there, right? Because it was like, oh, I might need this, put it in there. I don't know where this goes, put it in there. And so what I do is, part of the process is I take that metaphorical junk drawer and dump it out on the table. And we go through everything that's in there. And that's what we're doing with personal attributes, right? So if that's me, I dump it out and it's, Rob, what is every attribute about you? Not good, not bad, just anything I can think of, anything that's ever been said to me in my life. Okay, well, you're funny. Okay, fine. Well, you're also a smart ass. Yes. Okay, those are two different things. Like, you can be really generous and you can be kind of greedy sometimes. Okay, put them both down. And so what I do is I go through every piece of the junk drawer, everything that was in the junk drawer, and I identify it and then say, is this something I want to keep? Does this have a purpose? And if yes, it goes back in the drawer. And if it doesn't, I get to decide what I want to do with it. Do I throw it out? Do I put it on the side? Do I just acknowledge if it's something where I'm like, I don't know, maybe I want to hold on to this, or it's hard to get rid of? Put it back in the drawer, but you know it's there. And I can ask myself, am I using that thing now incorrectly? And so what I do is, in that process, there's also another way to describe it, which is kind of like a mosaic, right? So if you empty everything that's in yourself, you get nothing but these little pieces. And then you get to kind of reorganize them and create the picture you want. And so I can take all my attributes and reorganize them and say, okay, this is what I look like to me. And that changes how I feel. Like, suddenly I can look at it and be like, damn, you're not such a crappy person, Rob. Like, oh, okay, I feel better. And it allows me to write this down. And then part of the process is identifying all those things that were in the junk drawer and saying, what is still in the drawer and what is getting thrown out? And I can read them every morning and say, I am compassionate. I am no longer, temperamental. And remind myself, hey, when you're temperamental, you agreed not to be that. Like, you're no longer that. Get that out of the junk drawer. And so that's kind of that's the process. So those affirmations can come from other people, or they can come from within if you take an honest look at yourself.